All right, welcome. Today, we're diving into a really powerful idea, how the very first hour of your day can literally change all the hours that follow. We're going to break down how you can build a morning routine that really sets you up for success, for focus, and for a genuine sense of excellence.
You know, this isn't just some nice saying. It's a really powerful principle. Think about it like a flywheel, right? The small things you do first thing in the morning, they build momentum that just carries you through the entire day. So this explainer is all about breaking down a routine that's designed to create that exact positive ripple effect so you can win your day every single day.
So this gets right to the heart of the choice we all have the second we wake up. The default for most of us, let's be honest, is to be reactive. We grab our phone and bam, we're immediately pulled into a world of notifications, emails, and everybody else's agenda. The alternative, and what we're talking about today, is being proactive. It's about consciously using that first hour for you, for self-care, and setting a clear, intentional direction for your day.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to build the core mindset for winning your morning. Then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of those first physical and mental victories that build that crucial momentum. After that, we'll look at how to actually design your day with purpose. And finally, we'll cover the best ways to fuel your brain for absolute peak performance.
First up, winning your morning. Now, the most important thing to get right off the bat is that this is not about creating some rigid, all-or-nothing to-do list. Think of it more like an ideal day menu. You don't have to order everything on the menu every single day, but the more of these things you can bring into your morning, the more powerful that effect is going to be.
All right, so with that mindset locked in, let's jump into our second section, first victories. This is all about priming your physical and your mental state with small, immediate wins that create that powerful forward momentum we've been talking about.
And here is the sequence of those first wins, starting literally the moment you open your eyes. Step 1. Before you even move a muscle, try to recall your dreams. Why? Well, because your subconscious mind has been working on problems and coming up with ideas all night long. Capturing those insights before they just evaporate is an incredibly powerful first step. Then, as your feet hit the floor, your next move is to make the bed. This becomes your first tangible win of the day. Now, you might be thinking, it's just making the bed. What's the big deal? But it is so much more than that. This isn't really about having a tidy room. It's about setting a standard of excellence for yourself. It's a 2-minute action that proves to your brain that you can start something and complete it with care. It's like your first little champagne moment of the day, and it creates this success mindset that bleeds into everything else you do.
Next up, hydration. This is a simple one. After 7-8 hours of sleep, your body is dehydrated. So getting a tall glass of water in you is absolutely essential. And this is the perfect time to take some probiotics to support your gut, which, they often call it our second brain because of the insane amount of nerve cells and neurotransmitters it has.
Okay, now we move into a dedicated block just for mindfulness. You start with a few minutes of really intentional breathing, just to flood your brain with oxygen and wake it up. Then follow that with about 20 minutes of meditation to find some real clarity and calm. And then, to bridge that gap from stillness to action, you get into your body with just 1 or 2 minutes of intense movement. We're talking burpees, jumping jacks, anything to get that heart rate going. It's a beautiful sequence of calm, then clarity, then energy.
The final step in this first victory section is a cold shower. I know, it might sound a little intense, but cold therapy is an unbelievably powerful way to just reset your nervous system. That jolt of cold triggers this rush of norepinephrine in your brain, a chemical that sharpens focus and attention, and it also reduces inflammation. It's kind of like putting ice on an injury, but for your entire body. It just shakes off any leftover grogginess and leaves you feeling incredibly alert. Okay, let's dive into the next phase, designing your day. So now your body and mind are awake, they're primed. This is where we shift from that physical preparation to intentionally crafting the day that's ahead of us.
This next phase kicks off with journaling, and specifically writing by hand. There's this unique neural connection that happens when you move a pen across paper. It just engages different parts of your brain than typing does, and it really helps clarify your thinking. It's a practice used by some of the most brilliant minds in history. We're talking Da Vinci, Einstein, Edison. Their journals are now these priceless artifacts of their genius. So, once you've cleared out the mental cobwebs with some journaling, you are ready to start structuring your day. And this brings us to the first of 3 critical lists, which starts with that classic question, what am I actually going to do today? And here is a simple, but oh my gosh, an incredibly powerful way to frame that list. Instead of writing down this massive, overwhelming list of 20 things, just focus on the 3+3 rule. Identify just 3 key work-related goals and 3 key personal goals. That's it. If you can get those 6 things done, you have had a truly productive day. You've won. It's that simple.
All right, the next list. This moves us beyond just tasks and into a much more intentional space. Instead of just asking what you'll do, this one asks you to decide how you want to feel. This is all about designing your emotional state for the day, instead of just, reacting to whatever happens to come your way. And this is the perfect metaphor for it. A thermometer just reacts to the temperature in the room, right? But a thermostat sets the temperature. This is about you choosing to be the thermostat of your own life, deciding ahead of time that today you'll feel gratitude or curiosity or connection. You set the tone.
And that brings us to the final and maybe the most profound list of them all. This goes even deeper than your actions or your feelings. It asks you to define the very essence of who you want to be today.
This whole idea is built on something really powerful. We are human beings, not human doings. Our culture is constantly pushing us to focus on the doing, but our real power, our real influence comes from our being. So take just a moment to define the person you want to embody today. Do you want to be a patient leader, a present friend, an attentive partner? This sets your character and it guides all of your actions for the rest of the day.
So we've primed our body, we've designed our day's intention, and now we come to the final step, fueling the most important asset you have. Our last section here is all about your brain, focusing on both the input it needs and the activation it requires to really perform at its best.
And this all comes down to 3 key activities. First, read for 20 to 30 minutes. It's really no coincidence that the world's most successful people are almost always voracious readers. It's active learning that builds new neural pathways. Next, literally feed your brain with a smoothie packed with brain-boosting foods. Things like blueberries for memory, avocado for those healthy fats, leafy greens for cognitive health. And finally, before you really dive into your workday, jumpstart your mind with a few brain training exercises to get those neurons firing for peak performance.
And that completes this blueprint for an incredibly powerful morning. But remember, the key here is that this is a menu, not a mandate. You do not have to do it all at once. So the real takeaway question is this. Looking at everything we've just covered, what is the one small habit you can commit to starting tomorrow to begin winning your morning?